Hey Epic! As you can probably tell by the image of on my screen, today we are going to be talking about clocks. Clocks tell us what time it is, but we need to be able to read the clock. So, I know that for some of you, this is going to be a review, and for some of you, this is going to be brand new. Either way, this is really important, so I'm really excited to be talking to you about this today. Alright, let's start off by talking about these things here that kind of look like sticks. Sometimes they look like arrows. These are called hands, clock hands. There are two, as you can see, there are two hands on this clock, a minute hand and an hour hand. Now the hour hand is this shorter one here that's represented in black. The minute hand is always the longer one that is here represented in orange. The hands can only move in one direction around the clock. We call that clockwise, and it looks like this. This is faster than a normal clock would move, but it is the same direction. They will never move in the other direction around the clock, only clockwise. So, first, let's take a minute to look at the minute. Let's take a minute to look at the minute hand. When the minute hand is pointing straight up at the 12, that means o'clock, and it's written like this. For example, this clock is reading 5 o'clock. I know this because the hour hand is pointing at the 5, and the minute hand is pointing straight up at the 12. If it goes around again, 6 o'clock. If it goes around again, 7 o'clock. What if it goes around again? What do you think? 8 o'clock. Very good. Now, after that, it gets a little bit more complicated. After the 12, each number on the clock represents 5 minutes. So that's going to require us to use some of our skip counting skills. So, the 1 is 5 minutes. Here you can see, now it is showing 8:05. The 2 is 10 minutes. 3, 15, 20, 25, 30. Ooh, let's pause here for a minute. When we get to the 6, and the minute hand is pointing straight down, we can read this as 8:30, or we can read it as 8:30, because now we know that that hour is halfway done. So 8:30 or 8:30, 35, 8:40, 8:45, 8:50, 8:55, straight back to o'clock. But now it's 9 o'clock. Did you see how when the minute hand goes around the clock, the hour hand also moves slowly to the next number, 10 o'clock. Very good. Now, it's nice when it's at a clock because the hour hand is pointing straight to the number. But what if we're going all the way over here to, let's say, 10:15? Now you'll see that the hour hand is not pointing to directly to a number. It's pointing somewhere in between two numbers. When that happens, you always read it as the lower number. So even though this is right between 10 and 11, I know that I'm going to use the lower number, and that it is 10:15. That especially gets confusing when you're looking at half past, because it's right between the 10 and 11. But I know that I go to the smaller number, and it is 10:30. Let's go all the way back. So it says 11 o'clock. Now things get a little trickier still. What if the minute hand isn't pointing directly to a number, but the minute hand is somewhere in between? That's where these little notches come in. I know that this is 11:05, and if I go by the notches, I can see it turns into 11:06, 11:07, 11:08, 11:09, all the way to 11:10. So let me give you guys a couple examples and see if you can figure it out. I will turn this off. What if I put the clock here? Now the hour hand is pointing right around the 1, so it must be 1 something, right? No. Remember, we always go toward the number before the number that the hour hand just passed. So I know that this is 12, and then I will go over to the minute hand, and I see it was 12:45 and 12:46, 12:47. Is that right? It's 12:47. Let's do one more together. What if the clock looks like what if the clock looks like this? First off, where's the hour hand? The hour hand is between the 8 and the 9, and I know to look at the number that the hour hand just passed, so I know it's 8 something. And then I go and I will count 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, I know now that it is 8:20. I want you to try a few of these on your own and see how you do. So here, I will show you 4 different clock faces. I want you to take a look at these 4 different clock faces, write down what each clock is telling you, write down what time it is on each of these clocks, and then send them on over so we can see. All right, I cannot wait to see what you guys do. Reach out if you have any questions, and otherwise, we will see you soon. Bye.